Hey guys, what's up? Itchla coming back to ya with another episode of Walks Witchla. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I got a little bit carried away last episode. I went pretty far with things. And I haven't really done much of an emotional or a status report recently, so I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit tired. Today was kind of dragging a little bit, but it's definitely picked up now for whatever reason. Like, I feel like things have picked up in terms of the speed, but we still have quite a ways to go before things will be fully back to normal. I think December will be a much more chill month. Or really, I mean, it won't take all the way until December. But, I'm assuming things will improve. So, yeah, it's something to look forward to, I guess. Or, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of hard when you're in a system that is so off for what you're kind of supposed to be doing. Kind of where you're at mentally. The rest of society is just that far off or that far out there. I just don't know that other people really understand what that's like. I mean, a lot of people might feel lonely, but they shouldn't be. I think for most people it's a form of ignorance or a lack of mental energy as to why things don't end up working out for them. For me, it's a resentment that builds up, because you keep being there for people, you keep putting yourself out there for people, you keep getting nothing in return, you put a lot of effort into stuff and it doesn't get noticed, it doesn't get seen, it doesn't get remembered, and over time, that obviously builds up a resentment, because you can't feel like you need to do your best if nobody else is going to do their best. But see, from the other person's perspective, maybe they are doing their best. And that's when you start to get to problems where it's just always going to be messed up. Just always going to be messed up. And that's kind of where I usually fall. It's just after you've spent so many time with people, you wake up and it's like the past 10 years of your life have just been a huge rigmarole. There really hasn't been much gained from it, and you just sit back and, wow, how did this all happen, and what things you would have done differently just to try to get through it. But it all makes sense to me now. It's because the way I think is it's dangerously correct in a world that's dangerously behind. And that's why there's a potency to my statements. There's a potency to it. And it's why it's been as difficult as it has been for me to interact through this interface. I don't know. It's like, how do you do this? How are you supposed to do this? And yeah, other people don't have this problem, but man, it's just hitting wit's end, I'm glad I've got my show out somewhat, at least. I know at this point, we're actually we surpassed 200 episodes. I guess I didn't really make too much of a, I didn't really say much about it. I mean, hitting 100 episodes, I think was, you know, like I kind of noticed that, or I felt that more. But yeah, now 200 in. Now that was accelerated because of Walk Switch Law. I'm not sure that we've hit 200 episodes uniquely of Car Rides Switch Law. But I'm only bringing this up to say that I don't even know where I would be right now if I hadn't had rebounded in the way I did and started Car Rides Switch Law when I did, because I just don't even know. I don't even know. I would really be down in the dumps right now, I think, for sure. And yeah, like I said, this year, the things I've purchased, the excessiveness of it, and then not really using the things I have to their fullest. It's all been a shame, It's just all been this crazy storm, this year. But it's something again, I've already reiterated this, but I'm just grateful that I finally started recording, because nothing was tangible before. I kept all my ideas were just not documented, and I wish more than anything I had just gotten a grip sooner. But I hope it was for a reason, and I hope it's not cope, that there was kind of this dark patch of my ideas that were just unrecorded. Like I've said before, I think a lot of them were unrefined, interesting, but not very refined or accurate. So it would have been really cool to have and see them, but it's not, I guess it's not important, and that's why God waited until this late for me to finally just start having some kind of a consistent output and documentation of things. But I changed so much. I really did change so much. Even in 2024, I don't think my mind had really expanded that much. It was kind of limited. I can remember how I felt and how I felt back then. It was all about the past and holding on to the past. And I think one of the main trademarks of 2025 was a clear shift towards a dedicated futuristic ideology. I think that was a huge shift for me. I think for the entirety of 2024, my mindset was that I really needed that time machine, and that joy can really only be obtained through a time machine, and it wasn't fair that I wasn't born in the golden age. And I think all that stuff's still true. It's all still very true that none of that's fair. But I've changed, and then back then it was because I always loved tech, but I guess I was always at a crossroads, because I love technology, but again, I used to be much more retroist or traditional. I was afraid of technology, and I thought, everything was fine without it. So why are we, we don't need it. But I always had this allure. I was always obsessed with hardware and wanting it. Like I've said, probably from around I was 14 years old, I would just spend so much time browsing for laptops, and I wished I could get a new one. And it's a shame I didn't just get some random job, or else I really would have been ahead of the schedule. But again, for whatever reason, I was just stuck. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's weird how that happens. It's just very weird how that all happens. But yeah, it was, and again, I mean, it's something else where I was limited. I didn't really have any good hardware until, honestly, this year was the first year I've had like actual good cream of the crop technology, 2025. So before now, I've kind of been like not quite there. There was always some kind of limitation, but the desktop I have now, the phone I have, I mean, it's all pretty peak. I mean, obviously the 17 Pro Max is out now, so that would edge out my 16 Pro Max, but I think you get what I'm saying. I mean, I finally have like the best stuff, you know, and I didn't have that for my whole life. I always wanted it, but I never obtained it. I have like the best desktop and I have the best phone pretty much. And yeah, I mean, that finally happened in 2025, but sorry, to go back to 2024, I guess it was a similar despair, but I didn't really have my finger on things the same way. I think it's a little bit difficult to remember, but I don't think I was as keen on a lot of these tech people and stuff. I mean, maybe it was kind of an intermediary phase, but I still really wanted the past. I really wanted things to go back to the past. And I would be so much happier just to live through that, just if I was 10 years older than I am, you know? Even just 10 years older, 20 years older. Oh my gosh, you know, the amount of joy that would have came from that. The amazing, like, all the stuff that came out was so interesting and good. And I had really wished that there was some way I could have experienced that. But I guess where I'm at, I mean, it's pretty good in its own right, but I just wish I could adjust it, you know? Like, I still really crave being born in that different time. It was just so much better. And that's something I think a lot of people don't have this issue because they can't really understand it. Like, they can't really conceive of like why it would have been better to be born. Like, I probably would want to be born in the late 70s, early 80s. I've always wanted to come down with like an exact year, but I'm not really sure about an exact year. But I mean, that really would have just been a pretty cool time. But the time I was born, it was good too. You know, it was very unique. I obviously have developed quite the unique perspective, and you really can assume that wouldn't be the case, you know, if I had been born in that other time. I mean, I just don't know, you know, like, things really would be really different. I mean, they would just be so different. So you have to hope that there's some kind of greater purpose, or yeah, that's what I think's the case. Sorry, I know I'm not finishing my main point, but in 2024, really being obsessed with the past, like really obsessed with the past, you know? And it's like just wanting that time machine. And I remember for probably months on end in 2024, really just wanting that time machine, wanting to go back to re-experience the good old days, seeing the world around me decay, seeing people decay, you know? And that was really the main form of it. And I guess I justified my tech spending because I realized we could simulate things. Maybe if computers got powerful enough, we could simulate the past and it would be just like living there. And that's when my eyes opened up to the importance of archival. Because if I had archived my experiences all growing up, even with the limited cameras that I had access to, things would be so different. I'd be very happy to have all that information and data. It would have been a godsend now, but really don't have any. It's lost for whatever reason. But I think that's kind of a part of it too. I mean, that was probably just meant to happen or meant to be. But I kind of wish I could have been like my own father and my own older brother, and then me or something. Like, I really wish I was born in like the 70s and then I had myself as a kid. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I know this sounds weird, but that's really what I think I would have wanted. And I would have made sure a lot more was documented and stuff, knowing what I know now. Like, obviously, yeah, I guess what I'd want is right now. So right now I'd like to go back in time to the 70s. And then that would make it so, or maybe the 80s, yeah. I think right now I'd want to go back to the 80s right now. And then hopefully I'd be able to have a child. And then that child would be me somehow. Like, I'd be able to clone it. And then I'd be able to clone myself again and have like another me. So each me would be like, I guess about like 15 years apart from me. So I could be experiencing each of those realities and then having like one general conscious that sort of unites us all in some way, but maybe not precisely directly or something. I don't know. That would just be a much more complete experience, you know? And obviously in terms of security, it would also be very likely that I would be very financially secure. I mean, that's for sure. Because if you basically one consciousness in 3 bodies, I mean, you're going to be pretty secure. Especially with what I know about my capabilities and being born in the golden age, it would be a very powerful combination. So just always, it's something I've thought about probably since about a year ago, but yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. But I was obsessed with the past, and then, I don't know, somehow in 2025, I just kept using AI more and more and realizing just how amazing it was. And I would read the responses, and so I started to read more, because obviously for a pretty long period of my life I wasn't reading as much. But AI has really been, I think, a overall beneficial outlet for me, just because I read and so much, and for some reason the words are better than any book, you know? I mean, I want to get one of those, well, I wanted to, I'm probably not going to end up doing it, but one of those Android e-readers just for like reading the GPT responses. And I mean, I just don't know. I mean, my brain, because my brain's so lazy, but it's so capable, the AI really bridges those two things together, and that's only going to improve, you know, as AI becomes stronger and is capable of executing and doing more. And, you know, even as a Neuralink, hopefully it gets worked on. But I just hope it comes fast enough, because I'm running out of patience. I'm running out of hope. And it's just like frustrating, you know. I just want to be working I want to be in the field, you know, right now. I want to be doing what I can to help speed this stuff along. I know I'd definitely be able to, and I'd really be able to help out these companies for really not much payment. You know, I don't need to be paid very much. I definitely would offer more than they would have to pay me. Like I said, I just want like $80,000 a year, but I'm willing to work like 60 hours a week for that money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely would be giving them so much more. And like I said, I just want to be in that room covered in cameras, covered in, you know, screens and microphones, and just really pushing the models and trying to come up with a lot of this stuff and figure, you know, like this really where I should be. And I keep having these thoughts, and they're persistent. You notice, I mean, the amount of times I've brought this up while I'm talking, it's persistent. I want to be contacted. I want to be contacted by one of these higher-ups. You know, it's like a shame I've been overlooked for this long. But any of those higher-up people, I don't know if by them personally necessarily, but that's why I try to mention Peter Thiel. I try to mention Sam Altman and what's that other guy, Alex Karp, when I think of it saying these names. I need to come up with a list of names, though. I'm going to ask GPT, actually. Hopefully I remember to, but I'm going to probably paste this transcript in, so I probably will remember to. But yeah, hopefully GPT can tell me like a list of trigger names that I need to keep talking about and listing in my videos, because I think sometime, at some point, whether it's a year from now or 5 years from now, these companies are eventually going to start stalking social media and looking for people to probably do the type of thing I'm talking about. And when they're going to see that there were these videos back in 2025 of this guy rambling about all this stuff, they're going to be like, whoa, this guy's like picture perfect for what we want. And I'm telling you, like, I'm not a greedy guy. I just want the latest and greatest tech. And I mean, if you could package me in a deal, something like, instead of 80,000, it's like 60,000, but I get like the best computers, the best phones, you know what I'm saying? Like company sponsored, man, I'd take that too. I'd take that package, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta be working for one of these companies, man, and I need that long list of names in order from most to least important. I hope GPT can figure it out, what I mean, because it's like, I hope GPT can really help me out. I'm lost. I'm wandering, man. I'm just like wandering, but it's a wondrous wandering, it's a wondrous wandering. And that's I don't know, for some reason that's kind of it. Like, I feel like wrapping things up. I have some time left here today, and then I have the rest of the week. So it is what it is. We'll just try to make it through, I guess, right? I don't really have too much of a choice for now, but like I said, hopefully some of these people start to get their act together and notice me, and I can help them out with some of my ideas and stuff. We can really try to situate and get society back on the correct track. It's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see ya schla.